Hi there. We're continuing our journey through Psalm 18, and we're completing the psalm from verses 37 to 50. Remember, this is a psalm that is entitled a psalm that David wrote when he had been delivered from all his enemies, and particularly from Saul. So in this last part of the psalm, he celebrates the fact that God has delivered him from his enemies. Not just delivered him, but actually given him power to destroy his enemies and to crush his enemies. It's quite unfamiliar to us, this kind of talk of overtaking and crushing your enemies and grinding them down to dust and throwing them into the wind. But for David, a military man, this was something that was very familiar. Remember, David wasn't allowed to build the temple because God said he was a man of war. So David is used to this military style, this military way, but his life is in danger, and so he sees God actually rescuing. God saves his life. He says that, in fact, this overcoming of others has meant that nations who he didn't expect have come to serve him. David obviously united Israel together. He united the 12 tribes where he'd been leading initially the 2 tribes. The 12 tribes came together under his leadership and under his kingship. So saying, people that I didn't expect have come to be led by me and have looked to me. And he had admiration from many places around. And then he says these famous words in Hebrew, Chai Adonai uvaruch tzuri v'yarum Elohei Yishi. The Lord lives, blessed be my rock, this tzuri, this God is my rock, he is my cliff top, as it were, and, and exalted be the God of my salvation, the one who delivers, the one who rescues me, the one who puts everything in place for me. And David is freely acknowledging that it's not his own strength that's done this, but it's God who's done this. And he says he's going to confess the Lord before the nations. He's going to confess the Lord before those who don't accept or believe him. And he's going to make music to his name. Because he's the one who's done this deliverance. He's the one who's done this rescue. And he's acted with hesed. He's acted with a covenant grace according to his covenant promise to his anointed one. And that word there is to his Mashiach, which is the same word that we use for Messiah. David is seen as his anointed one, but not just for David. He says for David and to his descendants. And of course, Jesus being in the line of David, Jesus has been given power over the final enemy, death. Now David is rejoicing here, as I say, not in his own power, but in God's power. As we continue on, let's recognize that when we have triumphs, when we get the better of our enemy, particularly when we get overcome evil, that it's not our power, but it's God's power that is doing it. Have a good day.